Have you ever wondered why national parks close at night, even when the weather is calm, even when nothing seems wrong? I used to think it was about safety, animals, falls, lost hikers. That was before I became a ranger, and before I learned the real rules we follow after dark. I worked in a remote stretch of federal land in the northwest, hundreds of square miles of forest, no cell service, no towns for hours, just trees, rivers, cliffs, and trails that vanished into shadow after sunset. On my first night shift, the senior ranger handed me a laminated card. He told me not to lose it, not to photograph it, not to talk about it with visitors. Then he leaned closer and whispered something that still makes my stomach tighten. These aren't policies, they're survival. The card was labeled Night Protocols. Rule 1. If you hear whistling after dark, do not answer it. Rule 2. If someone calls for help from off-trail, radio first. Do not approach alone. Rule 3. If you encounter an animal that does not flee, retreat slowly. There were 12 rules in total. None of them explained why. I laughed it off at first. Thought it was some kind of hazing ritual, the kind they play on rookies. My partner that night didn't laugh. She tightened her vest and told me to stay close to the truck. You'll understand soon enough. We started patrol just after sunset. Gates locked, campgrounds cleared, trails empty. Wind dragged through the branches in long, slow breaths. Somewhere far off, something knocked against metal, over and over. My radio crackled with static. An hour later, we heard it. Whistling, low, tuneless, coming from deep in the trees. I turned toward it without thinking. My partner grabbed my sleeve so hard it hurt. She shook her head once, slowly. The sound kept drifting closer, then farther away, like something circling us. I whispered, probably another ranger. She leaned in close. Rangers don't whistle. We radioed dispatch. They told us to hold position, do not investigate. While we waited, the whistling stopped. Behind us, branches cracked. Slow footsteps, heavy ones. Nothing stepped into view, but I felt it. The way you feel eyes boring into your back. My partner murmured another rule. If you sense something following you, don't acknowledge it. We drove on, further north, toward a stretch of trail closed to visitors after sundown. Dispatch called it a wildlife corridor. The old rangers had another name for it, the quiet zone. Halfway down the road, the engine sputtered, then died. Headlights went out. Darkness swallowed everything. The radio exploded with static. Then a voice slipped through, my voice, asking for help. I stared at the speaker. My partner reached over and shut the radio off. Rule 7. If you hear your own voice over comms, power down immediately. My mouth felt dry. I hadn't said anything. Something brushed the side of the truck. Metal groaned, fingernails dragging along the door. We didn't move, didn't breathe. After a full minute, the sound stopped. The engine started on the first try. We drove without speaking. Later that night, dispatch sent us to check a motion sensor near the river cliffs. Footprints led into the mud, bare feet, too long, too narrow, no prints coming back out. From across the water, someone called my name, perfectly. The same tone my mother used. I'd never told anyone here about her. My partner whispered another rule. If something knows personal details, leave immediately. We backed away. Slowly, the voice kept talking, listing things about me, my birthday, my childhood dog. Back at the station before dawn, I asked the senior ranger what lived out there. He didn't answer. He just slipped another laminated card into my pocket. Rule 13. It read, if you survive long enough to notice new patterns, don't share them. That was 5 years ago. I don't work nights anymore, but sometimes I still get calls from former co-workers, whispered ones. They say the rules are changing, new sounds, new shapes. things learning faster than before. So if you ever find yourself in a national park after sunset and you hear someone whistling, don't answer. If a ranger tells you to leave, don't argue. And if the forest goes quiet all at once, run. Because the rules were written for a reason, and whatever's out there is still watching.